Okay, class, this is Cleo Washington. I am your DFTG 1392 instructor, and today we are going to look at working with the Revit tools. We're going to learn how to utilize the Move tool, the Array tools, and various other tools, okay? So let's go ahead and open up your model, and you should see exactly where you left off last week. You should see it as it was left off. Let's say it like that. And this is where we are, okay? This is how your model should look in 3D, and this is what your first floor plan should look like. However, I want to go ahead, before we actually get into the Revit tools, let's go ahead and add this little bump out that's shown in the book here, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to utilize reference planes to establish the envelope of this little bump out, so to speak. So type in RF. You want to snap to the center point of this wall right here, and you will see the triangle pop up. Let's draw a line, reference plane, just like this. Now hit escape and type in RP for reference plane again. I said RF earlier. Excuse me, I meant to say RP. And you want to give it an offset of 15 feet. And you want to click here and drag up. All right, and with the reference plane command still active, you want to click here and drag down. Okay, now with the command still active, you want to go ahead and change that 15 feet to 25 feet. And let's click right here on the edge and draw a reference plane. Make sure you're on the edge and not on the center of the wall. Let's draw a reference plane that has an offset value of 25 feet. Okay, and you can delete this guy in the center. That was just a plane that we use to start to draw the boundaries. So now you can see we have our walls footprint here, okay? This is what our walls are going to look like. So let's go ahead and select this wall and right click and click on create similar. And let's go ahead and draw some walls. And let's go ahead and change this to finished face exterior if you do not have it set there already. And let's go ahead and click here. Okay, and you want to make sure you flip it in to make sure that we don't exceed the boundaries, right? So you do that with the command active by hitting the space bar. Click here, and click here. Okay? Now, as you can see, these walls are not joined all the way. So what you can do is you can just take this grip and pull it in. And once it opens up, you know that it is connected to the adjoining wall. So click right here, drag this in. Okay? Now let's go back to your 3D view, and you can see now that we have additional walls drawn on the south side of the west wing of the building. Okay, so next let's go back to level 1 floor plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys how to utilize the Move tool, okay? There are several ways to move things in Revit. You can just type in MV, and that'll immediately activate the Move tool. And you can just select this wall right here. Let's move this wall northward 2 feet 6 inches, okay? And you can take it and click it and just drag it up. Make sure you hover over it properly. Okay, or you can drag it back down. Okay, or you can go ahead and move it by giving it a value. So say if you want to move this wall up 2 feet 6 inches, while it's active, you can just type 2 feet. You can click while it's active here. You can go and click here and type 2 feet 6 inches. 2 spacebar 6. Enter. Now that wall is moved 2 feet 6 inches northward. Okay, very simple command to use. You guys should not have any trouble with that. Another way that you can move something is you can use the copy command. You can select this wall right here, type in CO for copy, and then just copy this wall. Right now we saw that the wall moved, right? So you can select the wall again, type in CO for copy. Okay, and you see this button right here called constrain button. That will keep it constrained within the boundaries that it's in as it regards movement. Let me show you. If you click here, now let's go ahead and move this wall to the east. Well, as you can see, it's moving in a straight line, okay? It's similar to the ortho command in AutoCAD, right? So, that's another way that you can move a wall. And let's try to rotate a wall. Say if we wanted to rotate this wall, and this is just for educational purposes. It's not a part of the model. You type in RO, and you can rotate it, and it'll snap to 90 degrees, okay? You also can, let's undo it. You also can place the axis where you want to rotate the wall about. So let's go ahead and type in RO for rotate. Select the wall, type in RO for rotate. And you see right here where it says center of rotation, you can place it wherever you want it to center the rotation from. So instead of centering it from the center of this wall, you can center it from the end, okay? It just depends on how you like to rotate something, all right? And then boom, there's your wall. That's how you rotate walls. So let's go ahead and delete this. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look at how we are going to use the radial command to rotate some windows about this radius wall. Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss how to use the radial array tool, okay? We all should have this reference plane drawn at the center point of this radius wall. If you don't, go ahead and draw a reference plane right here, just as I have it drawn here in my model. Next thing you want to do is you want to rotate this reference plane. So you type in RO for rotate, and select it first, then type in RO, okay? And you want to tell it that you want to place the center of rotation. So you want to go click that, place it on the end here, and then drag it to the other end and rotate this guy up 45 degrees. So you can actually just type, when it's active, you actually can just type in 45 degrees and hit enter. And now you see we have that reference plane rotated at 45 degrees. So next, let's go ahead and utilize the radial array command, okay? You want to select that reference plane, and this is the radial array button right here. You can utilize it by clicking the button or using the hotkeys AR. So go ahead and click it since we're there already. And the same function applies for this array as well that we utilized when we rotated the reference plane. You want to go ahead and make sure you place it. Make sure that you have move to last selected here. Also, you want to change the number of segments to 4 just for the purposes of this model. And you don't want to have linear array selected. You want to make sure that you have radial array selected. So click that. And you may have to go back and change the center of rotation to place again. And let's click on this end of the reference plane. And you want to drag your cursor up to the top portion of the reference plane. Click here. And then let's go ahead and drag it down until we get to 90 degrees and click there. And let's go ahead and change that number of segments to 4, okay? And then hit enter. And now you have your radial array selected. Now, why did we do this, okay? Because we're going to place windows on the center of these radial arrays. So let's go ahead and select this window, right click, and click create similar. And let's go ahead and place a window right here. Flip it to make sure the window pane is on the outside. You'll place one here. You'll place one here. You'll place one here. And you will place one here. Okay? So now you see these windows are centered. If you click it, it should be centered. If not, you can use the align tool. In fact, let's we're going to do a brief demonstration. We'll delete one and we'll put another window in that's not aligned. Go to create similar. Let's just place a window right here, okay? So now you can select that window, type in AL for align, okay? And you want to select the center point of this window and then select the reference plane that you want it to align to, okay? And now you can see that window is aligned to that reference plane. Now, when we go to look at the model in 3D, get out of the align tool, hit escape. When we go to look at the model in 3D, you'll now see that you have windows within that radius wall on the west wing. Okay? And what you want to do is you want to make sure, typically in the construction process, you will not ever have this type of condition. In most cases, it could be utilized as a special condition in some cases, but you always want that window to sit above your CMU block base. So you select this window, go to the properties just to see how we have the seal height set. It's set to 4 feet. So let's change these to 4 feet as well. And let's orbit so we can actually see them. And select this window, this one, and this one, and right click, or better yet, just go to the properties menu and change the seal height to 4 feet, and hit enter. And you should be able to click apply. Sometimes they just jump up without you clicking apply. And there you have your windows accurately drawn and accurately placed in the radius wall at the corridor on the west wing, okay? Now, let's go back to your floor plan, and you should be able to see the windows there as we left them. Okay, let's revisit that align tool. Let's go ahead and let's say we move this door up a little bit. And you want to have this door aligned on that wall. So it's the same principle that we utilize on the window. You want to type in AL, okay, and select the reference plane, and then select the center point of the door, and it will align to that reference plane, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and add a building section. And what you would do is on the View tab, you click on the building section icon here, and let's click at the north side of the west wing and drag the building section cut right through the corridor, the connecting corridor. Now, what you want to do now is when you have these building sections, you can manipulate them. Right now, the arrow, it points the way that the building section is facing. So if you select the arrow or the building section, these little arrows will pop up and you can change it to look in the other direction. And even this right here, where you see the extents of the view, you can tell it that you want it to look past the building, or you want it to look just this far. So this is the extent of the view itself. And you'll see it'll make more sense to you when we actually click into the section view, okay? But for right now, let's make sure we extend all of these to see all walls. So now let's go ahead and double click on the section marker right here. So now this is the view that we're looking at, okay? And we talked about what a section marker is. That's just, you know, it's as if we took a big gigantic saw and cut through the building, okay? Yeah, so now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our walls extended as they should be, okay? So right now for this view, we want to turn the elevation marker on and just drag them out a little bit, okay? And the elevation markers that do not apply, okay, we want to go ahead and turn those off in this view. And the way we do that is we select it, right click, and just click hide in view and click elements. All right, because that elevation marker is not shown in this view. And I think the corridor, we should have the corridor at 26 feet. So what you want to do is go back to your 3D model and select the corridor walls. And you can orbit your model to get a better view of them. Select your corridor walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's go ahead and change that to corridor roof. And they should jump up a little bit, okay? Now, let's go back to section 1 drawing, which is already open in the tab right here. Now, we have corridor roof. Let's go ahead and select this guy, right click and turn it off, hide in view. And select this level 4 marker and right click and turn it off, hide in view. Now let's just say you turned one of these markers off and you needed to actually turn it back on. Say you turned the wrong one off by mistake. Then you would go and click this little light bulb here. It's the reveal hidden elements icon. And everything that's in red is in the view, but it's been turned off. And you turn it on the same way, okay? Unhide in view, okay? And elements. But we'll leave them off. So that's how you work that one out. Let's go ahead and go back to regular view. You have to close, reveal hidden elements. And let's click this level 1 marker and drag it over so it's in alignment with the other markers that we have shown in this view. And when it's lined up, you will see a vertical line that lets you know that it's lined up, okay? And we can turn this guy off on this side, the west roof. And we can crop the view just a little bit more. We don't need it to show that much due to the, let's go ahead and change this to, we'll abbreviate this guy because we don't need it to be that long, right? Just CORR and period is fine. Yes. That way we don't have to extend this out a whole lot. Yeah, we can do it just like that. Okay. Now, as you can see, let's go to 3D view. We have an opening at the top of our wall, okay? So we have to close in this top portion of the wall. So you go back to your section view, okay? And you select that wall, or you can select this wall. And you want to go ahead and click the Edit Profile button. Now, once you click the Edit Profile button, Revit goes into sketch mode. I think we did go over this briefly in class last week. Revit goes into sketch mode. So what you can do is highlight this vertical line right here and drag it down to the corridor roof marker, okay? And since you're in sketch mode, you can actually draw a line. So you can take this line and drag it over to this roof right here. Now you want to click the line button because we have to draw lines. And you want to draw a line from this line all the way across to that same plane in that wall. And then you want to draw another line and close the loop, okay? Best thing to do here is just click here and then trim it thin to make sure that it's closed, right? So now that you have everything closed, you can click the check mark. And now you see we have the wall closed at the top portion. And you go to your 3D model, you can see that it looks just like that. Okay, so that's pretty much how you operate Revit in sketch mode. If you want to like cut holes in walls and things of that nature. Let's do another one just for repetition because we all know that, you know, repetition is your best teacher. Let's go back to level 1 and let's add a section marker right up in here, okay? Okay, so before we add another building section, we want to go ahead and name this building section 1. So how do you do that? You go to the project browser here, and if you select the building section, if you double click it, or if you just click on the tab, which should already be open, you'll see in the sections portion of your project browser, you'll see a little plus button right here. You can click that and it will expand. And it is labeled section 1 already, okay? So we'll leave it like that for now. We'll tell you what, let's go ahead and rename it. Right click on this guy and rename it. We're gonna rename it to West Corridor Section, and I want this in all caps, okay? West Corridor, you can abbreviate it, Section. and hit enter. And now that renames your section. I just want to point something out, that naming your views, that's very important, because what will happen as we continue to develop the project browser will get tremendously long. And it would just help that if you had your views named, so you would not have to click on each view to find out what is what. Okay, so while we're here, let's go ahead and we're going to add another view, okay? So let's go back to the view icon, and we are going to add an interior elevation view. So what you want to do is, on the view icon, you see where it says elevation, you want to click it here, and then go over to your properties menu and change it from building elevation to interior elevation. And we want to go ahead and drop that guy right up in here, okay? So just go ahead and drop it here. And you can modify this. Right now the view is facing this way, but if you click on it, you can turn this view off, okay? And tell it you want to turn this view on, or you can turn all four of them on. It just depends on what you want. Now when you click on it, you can see the extents of that elevation. It'll look past this wall right here, as this is the view range, right? Or you can extend it out past these walls, okay? Now, same thing as the elevation or the building section marker. You can double click the elevation marker and it'll take you directly to that view, okay? So, when we go right here and we click this guy, we can change it back to just show the interior elevation. In fact, it's just easier to do it from this view. See how we moved it back? So we'll go ahead and snap it back to where it was at the outset. I just kind of wanted you guys to see how that works. Now when we go back to the elevation marker, first of all, let's see. Let's go ahead and name it Interior Elevation 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the project browser here, okay? And see where it says Interior Elevations? So let's go ahead and expand and rename this West Corridor Interior Elevation. So w.corr.int.elev. You can abbreviate it all to keep the name from being tremendously long, right? Now, let's go ahead and go back to level 1. And let's add a wall right here, okay? So what you want to do is go ahead and select this wall, right click, or actually select this interior wall, right click. Go to create similar, and make sure you have your finished face exterior selected. And let's go ahead and click this wall, mirror it about that axis so it can be in alignment with this wall, okay? And snap it right here. Now, let's go back to this elevation. So now we have, and you can actually change the visual style to just kind of see what's what, or what it looks like. Let's go ahead and extend the boundaries. So yes, you could just extend it upwards. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this guy off in this view, hide in view elements. Now we can take this wall selected and just extend it up to meet this wall, right? Now, what we need to do is, and let's go back and change the visual style to shaded, what do we want to do? Hidden line. We need to go ahead and add a opening in this wall, okay? Typically, you could just, there are openings that operate and function like doors. You can just drag that into this model. However, in the event that you don't have one that's set up that way, you can go ahead and click this wall, go back to your West Corridor view, and edit the sketch, okay? So you want to start off by drawing reference planes. So you go RP, and let's draw a reference plane, okay? and then let's hit RP again, or while it's active, let's give it an offset of, let's just say 3 foot. We'll create a 6 foot opening. So you want to offset this guy 3 foot, or let's give it an offset of 4 foot, or maybe even, well, let's go 4 foot. I'll let you determine. I'm going to draw mine in at 4 feet. And let's go ahead and drag this guy down, then drag it back up, right? And let's give it another offset of, let's just say 7 feet. And let's click this guy and drag it to the right. Oh, I'm sorry, drag it to the left. And let's draw another one at 8 feet. No, let's make it 10 feet. Let's give it a greater arch. And I know you guys don't understand what I'm doing right now, but you'll see once we start forming this thing up. We're creating an opening. 10 feet is a little bit too much. Let's go 9 feet. So you're gonna go here and drag it just like that. Now, since we are in sketch mode, you have these tools that you can draw lines with. So let's go ahead and click on the line icon. And let's draw a line here, just like this. Let's draw another one here, just like this. And with the line command still active, you want to go ahead and click the Start in Radius Arc button. And let's go ahead and draw a line from here to here, then pull it up to meet the 8 foot reference plane. Now, let's go ahead and delete the reference planes just for clarity. You want to click this and delete, click here and delete. Click here and delete, delete, delete. And now let's go ahead and clean this guy up. But first we have to make sure we do it in a fashion where we can maintain the closed loops, okay? So you want to click this guy right here, split with a gap. So we're going to go ahead and cut it here, split with a gap, come on. Sometimes Revit will glitch if you go too fast for it. Or let's go ahead and just try the other guy. This one is split element. So we click here, select that guy and delete it. Now we're going to trim and extend these two because they have to be closed loops. So TR, select here, 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 here. Now that your sketch is complete, you can select Finish Edit Sketch Mode. And now you have an opening in that wall that you just put in. That's how you utilize sketch mode. So let's go ahead and extend this back down because we don't really want to see all of that. And now when you go back to your 3D model, you will see that you now have an interior wall with an opening in your connecting corridor, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and draw another section at this portion of the building. Go to level 1, and let's go ahead and click the section marker. Let's draw a section marker that goes, let's say that ranges from here to here, so to speak. And go ahead and click the arrows and cause it to face northward. And let's go ahead and extend the view extents past this wall, okay? Now, let's go ahead and click on that section, right? So double click here. So now what do we have to do? We know that the section marker is cutting through these walls, so we're going to have to create an opening in this wall right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut an opening in this wall, okay? But first let's check something out here. Let's turn on the reveal. Okay, nothing is hitting in this scene. Let's go ahead and select this wall. We need to cut an opening in this wall. So same principle that we just utilized in building section 1, west corridor building section. So we're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to select this wall and go to Edit Profile. And let's go to the line button. And let's go ahead and draw a line from here. And let's just say we want to go up. Let's go up like 18.6. Then draw a line to go over. and then draw another line back down. So same principle applies. You want to click the split element button and select this guy right here and delete it. And you want to trim extend button, close the loop. And now you want to go ahead and finish the sketch mode. So now, let's go ahead and change the extents here. I'm going to scroll up, pull it up a little bit to see the whole roof, and there we go. So now when you go to your 3D model, you can see now you have an opening in this wall as well, and we will just leave it as is, okay? So next we're going to look at, let's go back to level 1. Okay, go ahead and delete the windows that are on the west wing, the west wall of the west wing. All of the windows that, except for the ones that we just put in the radius. Let's go ahead and type in WN for window, WN. And let's go ahead and change that window type to 2472. All right. And let's go ahead and place that window right here, okay? Let's go ahead and delete these reference marks. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I put that in, okay? So go ahead and type in RP for reference plane and give it an offset of 1'6". So you can just type 1 spacebar 6, enter, and click this top corner and drag it to the right. Now as you can see, and the reason why I wanted to go back and demonstrate this, the reference plane is on the outside of the building envelope. We actually need it to show on the inside. So hit the space bar to flip it. Now we have the reference plane on the inside. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for this corner. Let's go here, hit the space bar to flip it. Now we have the reference plane on the outside, on the inside. So let's go ahead and select this window and let's drag it down to align with the reference plane. Okay, you can actually nudge it as well. And now with that window selected, go ahead and select the array button. But this time we want to select linear array. And make sure the group associate button is always checked. We want to give this a linear array number of 4 as well. And we want to make sure it's selected move to last. Okay. Let's go ahead and click the top portion of this window right here. Let's go ahead and drag your cursor up. And you want to end where we drew that reference plane. Click there, and now there you have your windows, and make sure that the segments are 4, so hit enter to clarify that. And there you have your windows, okay? Now, what we want to do is, you want to select each window. You select each one, and you can mirror it. Well, actually, unselect, hit escape. Let's draw a reference plane here, RP. And let's draw a reference plane on the center of this wall right here. Now, let's go ahead and select all 4 of these windows. Hit MM for mirror, and select that reference plane to mirror it about. And now you have those windows evenly spaced on the opposite, equal, symmetrical wall. Okay. Now, let's go back to this section marker right here. We need to make sure that we name this section. This is, let's go to the project browser, West Wing South Wall section. Okay. I want to make sure you guys get that in. So we have drawn West Corridor section, and then we have drawn West Wing South Wall section as well. Okay, let's go ahead next and let's tag all of our doors and windows. And you do that by going to the Annotate tab here, and you want to select Tag All. And right now we're just going to do doors and windows, so go ahead and check door tags and check window tags. And click Apply, then click OK. Now you can see all of your doors have tags by them, and all of your windows have tags by them as well, right? Okay. Now, next let's learn how to utilize the Copy and Paste tool. Let's go ahead and select all of the interior walls in your model. at the east wing floor plan. And let's highlight all of the interior walls at the east wing, just the interior walls. If you select a wall that is not interior, you can hold down Shift and deselect it. Now, go to your copy to clipboard icon here. And you can also press Control and C to do that, but go ahead and click it since we're here. And now let's go to 3D view, okay? And when you're in 3D view, let's go to the paste icon and select Align to Selected Views. So we want it on the second floor, the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and click OK. Now as you see, all of the floors have been copied to each respective floor. Let's go to a elevation view. Let's go to the south elevation, and we want to change it to wireframe. So now you can see you have copied each floor at each respective level. Now what we will do as an exercise is we will go and do a different layout for each floor. So now when you go back to the 3D view, okay, you can see that we now have a floor plan on each floor. Let's go to level 2. Level 3. And we'll get to the view range later. Right now we just need to focus on this portion of the building. Level 4 and level 5. Okay, now let's go back to that 3D view. Where'd it go? I'll just click the house here, it's open. And let's go ahead and extend the elevator shaft walls and the radius wall. We're going to go ahead and extend that up. And I think we want to go ahead and extend it to a roof, parapet roof. So go ahead and select them all, because we need these to show at every floor, right? Let's see. And we're going to go to the properties menu here, and we are going to extend it up to top of roof. Hit apply. There you go. So now when you go back to all of your floors at each level, you'll see that, okay? If it's not extended up, it's not going to show. And right here, we'll manipulate the view range. Underlay, base level. Let's see, corridor roof. There it is. And we'll manipulate that a little bit more. Let's see, west roof. No, I'm gonna go to, there it is. So it's showing properly at each floor, even though at the second and third floor, you won't see this. We'll go ahead and change it to the correct one. Let's see, so at level 3, you won't even see this. So just go ahead and change this to 3. Should disappear. Nope. I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. None. Because you won't see any of that, right? At level 3. You'll see it at level 2. Level 3, level 4, and level 5, you will not. Okay? But right now I want you guys to, go ahead and continue creating the plans, okay? You're going to have a different floor plan layout for each floor. And if I want you guys to go ahead and start to look at page 217, that's where it starts, creating the plans. We already know how to create walls and add doors and things of that nature. So I'm not gonna do this portion of the video for you guys. I want you guys to go ahead and do that for yourself. So you have a first floor layout and you have a second floor layout. The only thing I did not cover at this point was construction documentation. I feel it's too early. That'll be a little bit too much for you guys right now. Even though we probably could have worked it in, I like to throw it in around week 8 or so. We'll go back and we'll add the call outs. We'll go back and we'll draft on top of the details. Right now I just want you guys to focus on the basics, and then once I feel that you guys are comfortable with the basics, we'll go ahead and start looking into detailing the model. Okay, so good stuff, guys.